Hello, everyone. I am AceGoddessScandal Sparkle, AceGoddessScandal from YouTube, and whatever else you probably know me as. I'm here with my best friend Nikita, who's having plenty of fun with my sonic screwdriver, even though we know the Fez is cooler. Yes, it is cooler. The Doctor versus the Fez. Fez is cool. Anyway, as she plays with my sonic screwdriver and everything, she's going to be background audio for helping me read aloud my fanfic of Stale Bread, which is why you are all here. I hope so. Anyway, is that why they're here? I would hope so. Anyway, we're here to read. Nikita here has never read it. She just gets the loveliness from our other friend.
Now, what you have to remember is usually I am your editor. Not for this for some reason. So I'm kind of interested to see where this has been going.
Just be careful with the flag screwdriver because it's fine. Remember. Palm again, everyone. Doctor number 8. Anyway, so while she's heard about how good the story is and how fabulous I am, and heard about the many threats towards my life, thank you all to any of you lovely readers from Fanfic who are watching this who have sent me the I will hunt you down or, I'm going to kill you messages. They make my day. Just gonna, throw that out there. So she
enjoys them.
I do.
Send more.
Indeed.
I enjoy them. I'm not alone. It's great.
Also, we have to understand is that Nikita here threatens my life on a fairly regular basis when I don't meet her deadlines.
I don't even set deadlines anymore. So for any of you wondering why it takes so long for the updates, you now know. She can't follow the deadline if you paid her.
Well, no one's tried paying me yet. So if you tried paying me, I'd write on top of it.
When you were still doing poetry, they were.
No, they weren't.
Kinda.
They were publishing it. It doesn't count. I wasn't getting any money. I had to buy the anthologies.
Oh, that will be my pizza. Why don't you go ahead and get started here?
Okay, so anyway, now the silliness is out of the way and all the introductions are out. I will be reading to you Stale Bread by the Scandalous Sparkle from as featured on fanfic.net and now on Figment. Check me out on Figment. I'll put the information below. Anyway, here we go. Enjoy. And don't forget to revow. Revow. Depends on if you've read, My Immortal or not. Adios. Enjoy. Okay, so for any of you that don't know, this story, Stale Bread, takes place 10 years after the end of Mockingjay. It's Peta and Katniss are now 28. Finnick and Prim didn't die, so everyone, they're a bit of a mini party, because Finnick's still alive, and who doesn't love Finnick, honestly? You love Finnick, Nikita?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Are you happy I left him alive?
I am.
How incredibly happy are you?
Words cannot describe my joy.
Good to know I made you happy at least once.
I'm sure the tone of my voice is letting every reader know.
She acts like she doesn't care, but she does. Because she would kill me if I killed off Finnick, even in my fanfic. I both know it. Anyway, so Finnick and Prim aren't dead, and it's been 10 years, so here we go. First chapter is called Long Time No See, and it is from the point of view of Peta. Want to start? Hamish died 3 days ago of just plain old age. Or at least he died from wearing his body out. I don't know which came as more of a shock. His death, or that it wasn't the liquor that killed him. It's odd though, standing in this house. I keep expecting to see him, but I know that's never going to happen. I'm never going to see the man who saved my life, who was a good friend, a father figure, and the savior of the girl I loved. It's too much for me to wrap my mind around. I take a deep breath before slowly making my way from the door to the sitting room. His room was his favorite. There were pictures of him and Effie all over the place. The two had gotten married shortly after the rebellion ended, and had spent quite a few years surprisingly happily married. Who'd have thunk? Effie had unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but it hadn't slowed Hamish down any, since he knew Effie would never have wanted him to change his way of life because of her. Hamish spent a lot of time with Katniss, though. That much was obvious by all the pictures. There were countless pictures of him and Katniss, and a little girl who looked just like Katniss, all over the place. There were pictures where he was with the little girl. He had a proud look on his face. There were ones of him with Katniss, Finnick, and Annie. Ones even of him with Finnick and Annie's son, who just looked like Finnick. I picked up one of Katniss's and the little girl's pictures. They were laughing and were sitting in the goose pen. I had gone away to the capital for some therapy, and Katniss had come to 12 to see Hamish. I had been outraged that I had missed her because she still had so much unfinished business between us. But Hamish told me that it had been for the best. He never did tell me, though, who the little girl was, only that she was very dear to him. I knew without a doubt that she was Katniss's daughter, though. She looked too much like her, and there were one or two pictures of Katniss holding an infant, wrapped in a pink blanket, looking proud yet sad. I set the pictures down, but picked up one of Katniss and Gale. Gale was all dressed up. It was his wedding day, according to Effie. He'd married Joanna, and Katniss had attended their wedding. Effie had forced to get all dressed up for it, so Katniss didn't seem thoroughly amused, but she was still smiling. Katniss looked incredible, though, happy and carefree. It made me wonder if Katniss had gotten remarried. I didn't know anything about her. Hamish had told me nothing about her except if something should ever happen to him, to call Annie and Finnick. They'd know how to get a hold of Katniss. I hadn't spoken to her since the morning before she left. She had been really sick, puking, dizzy, and had no energy. She tried to reassure me that she was fine, but I hadn't thought so. I'd gone downstairs to call a doctor to make her an appointment when a tracker-jacker had blown in our window. It had sent me into an attack that I didn't remember. I had woken up on our bedroom floor the next day, my head killing me, glass shattered all around me, and Hamish sitting on our bed. He told me that I had almost killed Katniss again, and she had left me. After that, Katniss had sent Hamish divorce papers, which had convinced me to sign for Katniss's sake. But judging by the smears and watermarks on it, Katniss had cried when she signed them. I hadn't moved on. Hell, I still lived in our house, her Victor's house, with everything exactly as it had been before she had left. I still couldn't even go into her room. I slept in a guest room instead, so I could avoid the worst of my regret and shame. I never stopped talking about her, though. She was a constant in my life, though she had walked out on me. It had probably been my inability to let her go that had fueled me to lie to Annie and Finnick, telling them that I was going to be attending the funeral, so Katniss wouldn't have to worry about seeing me. I had claimed me needing to go to the capital this weekend. I ran my fingers through my hair. I was more nervous than I had ever been in my life, which was really saying something. Katniss, Finnick, Annie, Prim, and Mrs. Everdeen were supposed to be arriving today, as was the girl that Hamish had left everything to. I was waiting at the house for Pearl Everlight to show up so I could give her a letter Hamish had left for her. I had never heard of her before, but figured that she was someone from his past, because who else would Hamish leave his house, geese, money, and any other worldly possessions he and Effie had owned? I heard a voice shouting from outside the house and jumped to my feet. One voice sounded stern, while the others were joking and laughing. I didn't understand how anyone could be so happy, but I figured people dealt with guilt and grief in their own way, and who was I to judge? "Pearl, wait for your mother," I heard a familiar male voice call, just as several footsteps pounded on the porch. "I want to see Grampy," the little girl's voice shouted back, before the door handle suddenly jingled and 3 children about 6 years old came running into the sitting room. I paused as I took them in, their smiles slowly fading. I recognized one of the boys. He was a younger version of Finnick. There was another boy with dark hair and gray eyes. I'd never seen him before, but the one little girl of the group, I recognized her from the pictures. Pearl, what did your mother say? What did your mom tell you? Echo, Elm, you two are also in trouble, the man snapped as he stumbled into the house. He too stopped when he saw me. Gale, wasn't expecting to see you, I mutter as I straighten up, and take in how he hasn't changed over the years. But could say the same for you, Millark, he growled. Daddy, who is this man, and where is Grandpa Hamish? The dark-haired boy asked, tugging on Gale's shirt. Gale drops his gaze to the little boy. Something about his expression softens. This is an old friend of Auntie Katniss's now. Why don't you 3 go see the geese? He tells the little boy. The boy nods, and the 3 of them run off. I don't dare take my gaze off of Gale, though. You have a son? I asked. Somehow the idea of Joanna and Gale having a kid never quite seemed possible in my mind. Yeah. We also have a daughter on the way. Joanna and the others will be here soon enough, but Joanna wanted to get checked into the hotel first. He explains before moving to take a seat on the couch, falling silent for a moment. Finnick said you were supposed to be in the capital. I was, but things came up and I couldn't go this weekend. I lie, taking a seat across from him. Well then, I'm sorry about the 3 of them barging in here like that. We were supposed to just check the geese out back and not set foot in the house. He grumbles as he rubs the back of his neck. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Don't worry. I'm just waiting for the woman Hamish left the house to come by so I can give her this. I say as I pull a letter from my pants pocket and fiddle with it a bit. Oh, she's not too far away, he says with a small laugh, just as the 3 kids running in and flock to him, so I can't press the issue anymore. The geese are all fine, Uncle Gale. Can I go back to Mommy now? She's really sad, the little girl whispers as she wraps her arms around Gale's waist. In a moment, sweet pea, he says before standing up. I'll be sure to let Katniss know you're still in town. Who knows? Maybe she might like to stop by, Gale tells me before he holds out his hand and I shake it. Yeah, please do, I tell him as I clear my throat. We stand there in silence a moment before there's a loud groan from outside. Uh-oh, the little girl whispers and tries to hide behind Gale's leg, and Gale rolls his eyes. Gale, I thought we weren't coming in here yet, a woman calls as she stomps up the steps and hustles into the room. My heart stops the second she enters the room, and she lets out a small squeak, her eyes going wide. Katniss hasn't hardly changed at all. She has faint laugh lines around the edges of her lips. She looks healthier than last time I'd seen her. Her hair is still long and is held back in a braided bun. A few silver hairs visible in the bright light of the sitting room. She's wearing a black dress, dark stockings, and heels surprisingly. She still manages to take my breath away, even though she looks terrified as our eyes lock. Nikita, she hisses as the small girl rushes to her, and I feel my heart breaking because Katniss doesn't show any emotion towards seeing me. I was expecting to not see you this weekend. I can't help but flinch a little. I can't remember hurting her so badly to deserve the poison in her voice. She was the one, after all, who had left, filed for divorce, and wouldn't allow anyone to tell me what district she was living in. It's good to see you too, Katniss, I murmur. The little girl looks at me confused, and then looks at Katniss. Mommy, Uncle Gale says this man is a friend of yours, she whispers. Katniss slowly kneels down and sets her hands on the little girl's shoulders. Uncle Gale is right. Honey, this is your father, she tells the little girl. And cliffhanger. There is chapter 1. So let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed it, if you hated it, whatnot. Reviews below. And enjoy the small portion of the song to come up that inspired chapter 1. See you all later. I wanna be free, I wanna be loved, I wanna be more.
more than you're thinking of.